spice, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
That nigga
you tweaking, bro.
Who's Lil Cam? Stop asking about my name. Look Cam. Hey,
Roasted that little bitch.
Who said that?
Hey, Lil Cam. That was Glenn.
Who that? Who asked who I am?
What I follow him.
What the fuck is that? Follow me. Follow me. Shit, bro. You tripping, bro.
Hey, who's Lil Cam?
You heard me, bro.
Why?
Yeah,
You know what? You can say I'm hungry, okay? I could have just said I'm just so hungry, but okay, so that's okay. But I'm just starving for what? No, and you know, people may say this. Oh, please, don't get so serious. But you have to be, because that's going to eventually. The more you say it without even thinking about it, it's going to manifest. It is going to manifest. Oh yeah, in some form or fashion. It's going to be very mindful, thinking before we speak. So I really like what you said, Pam. You know, words of encouragement. You know, the affirmations. That's what we need to be speaking to ourselves. And you know, we're human, yes, and we don't all, you know, always do it right, of course, but we have to think about the words that we say. We really do. Welcome, Lady J. God bless you, and I will invite you up to speak. God bless you, and welcome back. So yeah. So thank you so much, Pam, and welcome, lady. God bless you, and you can unmute yourself and give us your report today.
Sewer workers and ties.
Hi, everyone. Some blessings to you all. As you were speaking, woman of God, I was thinking about certain scriptures. I remembered certain scriptures. I don't know if you might have spoken about them. And I was thinking, as you were speaking, about Genesis. When Genesis 1:26, God created the world with words. He said, let there be light, and there was light. And it was a command that he gave with his, in words. And we forget who we are. We forget that we're made in his image. And that means that made in his image, we carry his creative authority with our tongue. So when we speak, we speak to create life, our realities, and we can shape our realities. That's why he says that in the word that my people perish for lack of knowledge. And he says that the children of the world are wiser than the children of the kingdom, because the children of the world understand the power of words. And you see a lot of these new age groups, how intentional they are with their words, because they understand that, they say the universe, but they say you speak into the universe. And so often you hear them intentionally speaking, whereas a lot of us are relaxed about the way that we speak. And, God drew my attention to it, and that's why you see a lot of generational curses continuing in families. And people will ask, why does this continue? It might be that the habits have changed in the families, but the words are still there. The attitude towards words is still there. The way that we speak to our children, the way we speak to ourselves, things that we every day that have become normalized in the society. Things about our financial state. People will testify. They will use their mouth. They will pray with their mouth and ask God to, bless them. But with that same mouth, they will say that they don't have sufficient funds. I don't want to repeat the words. They will say, I am, the B word, which I don't want to say. And the Bible says, he says in Joel, he says, let the weak say I am strong. So you're not suffering your situation, even your reality. That's a passive phrase, but we often do the opposite. We often say we are what we are not. Our God is reminded us that we should be careful. And Matthew says that by your words you are justified, and by your words you are condemned. So our words shape our destinies. When I was young, I made the mistake when I was with a mother. I made the mistake of saying what my mother said to me, which is, to my child, you're this, you're that, and you're just like your father. We often say these things and we don't understand the implications that this may. on the child. You know, it's like words are probably just as harmful as weapons, because these ones damage the spirit of the person, the soul and spirit of the person. They're deeper than flesh, words. And I don't know if you guys remember when you was children and words that were said to you, and you might have believed, and wounds or falls, they heal away, and they might leave a mark, but the pain that words leave are a lot more deeper and create a lot more damage. Certainly for me, there are words that even as an adult I'm fighting that was said to me when I was young. And the thing about words is also the mind records things. The mind is like a tape recorder, and it records things. And if we believed it, the enemy uses it against us. It keeps replaying that memory. That's why the Bible says that when our minds need to be transformed, we need to kind of allow God to purge us of the lies that we've believed. Because sometimes we've believed a lie and then we say it to ourselves over and over again, or the enemy allows makes us remember, I can't, these words that talk about the your limitations that limit you as a person, words that sometimes you see our family is always something, we are okay, or depression running into families because people, somebody was saying to me the other day that diagnosis is a spell. It's a spell because especially in certain mental health illnesses, because it's almost like someone gives you a label that God has not given you, and you then go and accept it. When someone tells you, you are this, and God says, no, he says, I've not given you a spirit of this. I've not given you a spirit of fear. And then someone tells you, no, you have a spirit of fear, and they call it anxiety or whatever they may call it. And you believe it. So also I realized that whose word do you believe? Often when things are spoken to us and said to us, whose account do you believe? Do you believe God's account, or do you believe what's been said to you, or what diagnosis you've had? And I know it's not always for every case, but it was just one example I was using. And also, words manifest, like the woman of God was saying. And the manifestations, it can affect us emotionally with low confidence and shame. Some words, some words also open doors.
This is like evergreen.
They open doors to certain spirits. And words can also linger and affect generations. So I just wanted to share that. For me, what I realized in this season, and thank you, woman of God, for bringing this up, is that the need for me to guard my mouth. And the Bible talks about it, because the real enemy isn't the enemy that's outside of ourselves. It's the enemy, the bits of us that the enemy uses. It's our tongue, the one that we think
this is live.
Friend. But if we don't tame it and we don't surrender it to God, it can be the very thing that the enemy uses to destroy us. Not just us, our homes. It can be the very thing that could have used if we've surrendered, but instead, if we leave it unchecked, the enemy can use it to destroy our homes instead of God using it to bless our homes. So I pray that God gives us a new vocabulary, because that's what I'm praying for myself. That God, I don't know how to speak, so teach me what to say and when to say it, and teach me when to be quiet and when to listen. Praise God. Thank you, woman of God.
Thank you. Everything you said. Absolutely. We need a whole new vocabulary. All of us. Because we've really been programmed to say certain things. And they become a part of us. Because people are like, well, they're just words, so. Exactly. They are just words. But words do hurt. Words can bring life. Or words can also bring death. So yeah, we need a new vocabulary of words to supersede the words that we say. In other words, like when I said to you when I first, came on here a while back, I said, sometimes people will say, oh, my feet are killing me. Well, the word killing it's a negative word. It's negative. It is. We see, look at all the things that are going on today in today's world. So it's a negative word. and you say, my feet are killing me, my feet are killing me. And I don't even want to say it, even to give you as an example, but you keep repeating it over and over. Back is killing me, feet are killing me, head is, feels like it's going to fall. That kind of stuff. You're getting on my nerves. What does that mean now? See? And see, all of these little things that we've heard from our childhood, you're getting on my last nerve. Well, come on now. See, these are the things. It's kind of funny now, but it's not funny. It is serious because we start speaking about these kind of things, and they do manifest. You wonder why you feel a certain way. Even when you get off the telephone or a telephone conversation with someone who continues to pour into you negativity. It's like, really? I mean, all of this negativity now becomes something that you take on. Yeah, things that were said to us, in our childhood. It's something that, so let's just try to replace them, because we know what's right. I mean, we know what's right, but if we consider it and just say, well, they're just words, I don't care, I'm speaking. You're speaking really, as you said, lady, you are speaking death unto yourself, unto your generation. Seriously. And it really is just as serious. Yeah. We can go with the world if we want to and say, oh, they're just words, so what? No. So instead of saying my feet are killing me, you can say, I need to rest my feet. I need to rest my head. I need to rest my back. I need to prop my back up. Something like that. But to say those words that are negative, that are not empowering. Killing is not an empowering word or an encouraging word at all. Let's put it that way. Okay? There's no encouragement in that word killing. And yet we have used it in the context of feet are killing me, back's killing me, getting on the last nerve. That kind of thing. Really? Come on. So you have to take it seriously and start thinking before you speak. That's what it winds up to. I mean, think before you speak. Like me saying the same thing. Like I said, I'm starving. Starving for what? Do you know that you're a child of God? You don't starve. But I was so used to saying that, I didn't think, then I thought, I was like, what? No. I'm hungry, yeah. But to say, so we have to start replacing the words that are deadly with words that are bringing life to you. And that, to me, that makes sense. Speaking the words that God speaks about you. And as you said, lady, he doesn't say that we're sick. He doesn't say that we're, he's at least let the weak say I'm strong. We are strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. He has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Now, we have choices. We can say whatever we want to say. Yes, we can say whatever we want to say, but is it going to, and we know it's going to manifest eventually, if it hasn't already. But are we going to continue doing that? I mean, are we, just saying, oh, they're words, they can't do anything, but they can. They can. So, as an educator, my class, I told you about the rice experiment. You can all go on YouTube and look at the rice experiment. I didn't even know it was on YouTube at the time. I was teaching my third grade class, and my other, students I did it with too. I performed this experiment, and you've all heard it before when you were on here before, but it's called the rice experiment. I guess that's what it's called. Anyway, you can go on YouTube, find out. You can really do it with a lot of things, really, not just so much rice. So it's called the rice experiment. We had rice, came from the same rice bag of rice, and we split the class up into two, and two parts. One had the bad rice, one had the good rice, coming from the same bag of rice, but one of the bags of rice said good rice, good for you, nutritious, whatever, and we put that in the room, in the classroom, and the other bag said bad rice, we don't like you, we hate you. We put that in the closet, and every time we would walk by, the group that had the bad rice would say bad things to the rice. It's like people talk to their plants. I don't, but I'm saying people do that, and sometimes it does make a difference. Sounds silly, but it does make a difference. So by the time the experiment was over, we had completed the experiment, the rice that was bad, after the children would come in every day and say, I hate you, rice, I don't like you, you're not nutritious, whatever. And the bad rice turned like a grayish color. And the good rice stayed white. So you go figure. These are, and I didn't even know it was and I said, oh my goodness, this is an experiment on YouTube. I found that out like years ago, when I don't even know, like years ago, but I just did this and I said, wow, sounds like it's interesting. Let's just see if it works, Just like people talk to plants, they sing to plants. A new mother will talk to the baby in her womb and will sing and play music. You see, these are the things that we're talking about. So you wouldn't say, even think about it, a child in your womb, you wouldn't say negative things to the child in your womb, would you? No. It's the same thing. You want the child to, say, oh, we're going to play classical music. Maybe the child, our child will like,
I think it'll bring me up.
classical music. This is what people
It'll be
say,
so funny.
and let's talk to the child. Let's talk and say good things to the child. So the child is listening, can hear, yes. So you wouldn't want to say anything negative, like, oh goodness, you give me pains in my that kind of. See, you don't want to say that. I mean, people may have said it, but I'm just saying you want to be mindful of what you speak and how you speak it, because it will eventually manifest, and we don't know all the things that were said to us. And I told you about, you hear so many times in here, how the teachers spoke negatively about all of the children in the classroom when I was growing up. And that's what made me want to be, made me want to be a better teacher than the teachers I had, okay? Because they called us all dummy, stupid every day. I mean, so it was just really, it was almost like a part of us, even though I didn't accept that, okay? I didn't accept that, but that's what they would say. They would just say it at random every time we came in. Why are you coming in? You're not going to learn. You're stupid. You're dumb. And I'm like, well, what? I never expected an adult to say that, especially a teacher now. No, I never expected that. But it was said. And thank God I didn't believe that about myself, because you are not what other people say. The truth, you're not the truth of what other people say about you. If they think it's truth, that's not your truth. It may be their truth, but it's not your truth. So what people say about you or even think about you has nothing to do with you. That may be something that's coming from their own thoughts. Because a lot of times people will think things about you that they're really thinking about themselves when you think about it. I mean, think. When you think about it, people may be thinking, they may say, well, I don't like that person. Why? I don't know. See, things like this, you've heard people say, I don't know why I don't like it, but I just don't like it. I don't know why. See, these are things. So you're thinking that you don't like the person. You don't know why. You can't even give a reason why. But this is the posture of your heart. And God watches and he looks at the posture of your heart, because he looks at the posture of our heart by saying, wow, these people are thinking, like, these you're supposed to love your neighbors as yourself. That's why I gave you, as a commandment, love your neighbors as yourself. And you're thinking you don't like the person and you don't even know them. I mean, see, things like that, and that's an idle word too. I don't like him. I don't know why. I hate it. I'm learning to say I want to hate the things that God hates and love the things that God loves. Okay, and that's all I want to say.
Because people know it's me, and they know that I'm cross-streaming some other person's room.
Sometimes it's not always easy, but that's what we're called to do. Okay, we're called to love our neighbors as ourselves. Everybody we see are our neighbors. Okay, and that means. It just means showing them respect. Okay, showing them courtesy. Not shunning people and pointing fingers. You understand? So, like with our teachers, I mean, they never knew how we were going to grow up, but they certainly wanted to plant that on us and like, just, you're all dumb and you're all stupid. You're never going to get a job. I don't know why you're coming to the class. Things like that. And this was every day. So they wanted to just like plant that in our heads every single day. And they both were math teachers. I mean, algebra teachers, in fact. And algebra for me, I just didn't like it. But, I didn't see any point of it. But I did what I did. But they would say things like, you're never going to get it. And that's why we're your teachers. We're smarter than you. We have our degrees. And I'm like, the heck? Why would you even say that to someone? Why would you say that to a child or even think about it? But this is what they said, and we heard this constantly every single day. Nothing was ever done about it because back then, what did they do? You're supposed to always be right, and they probably would have, if you had said something, they probably would have denied it anyway. So my thing was to be a better teacher than the best teacher that I could be. You understand? So now that I'm retired, yes, I had to be that kind of teacher because I didn't want to be a teacher where, I'm speaking all of this negativity to my students. No, because they pick that up and they begin to speak it and they begin to even believe it. Now, how many children? Well, I don't know how many children believed it back then, but I didn't believe it. But how many children probably did believe it? And really, if they're still living, they're probably holding all of that in their heart right now, as you said, lady. Things that were said to us as children, we just don't know, what they're harboring. So we have to be very mindful of what we think and how we say it and everything, and think before we say, or speak. But I really appreciate that. Let's see. Going to invite some more people up, but this is the power of the tongue, and we are on the scripture of Luke 6:45, which says, "A good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is good. For of the abundance of the heart his mouth speaketh." And the question that goes along with that scripture is, what new words of peace, faith, and encouragement can you begin speaking today? And let me see. You said something, Phoenix. Something here. Yeah. You said something about when people ask where you were going, you would say to hell. Okay. You used to say that? Okay. You said now I don't say that anymore. Okay. Thank God, no. That you don't say it anymore. Thank God. So because we say things out of habit, okay? We say things out of habit. So we have to be very mindful. And then Pam, you put in there Ephesians 4:29. Yes, that's an excellent scripture about the tongue. Also, Chop, you put down Proverbs 23, verse 7. So as a man speaks, so is he. Exactly. These are powerful scriptures, and so why wouldn't we want to speak the things that God speaks about us, and not just speak any old thing about, people think whatever they think about us, then we speak it over ourselves. No, because we're cursing ourselves and our generation. Whatever we are speaking about others, and we allow people to speak about us, really, and we believe it as children of God? No, we can't afford to do that, because now if we believe it, then we start speaking it too. So, as you said, lady, we are cursing our own generation. We're cursing ourselves. So we have to be mindful of that. So welcome, Chuck. God bless you. Welcome again.
How are you? How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. Good to see you again. Good to see you again.
Can I speak? I
Yes,
just
you
came
may.
in, but the spirit know the spirit. So
Yes. Oh, yes, you may. You haven't been here in a while. I'm expecting.
I know.
Yes.
I still go in my room, but I only go when the Lord give me a message.
Okay. Well, that's good.
When He give me a message, I just go open up my room and speak.
Oh, that's what you do.
Yeah.
And you have a red ticket, and you're always free to join the house if you feel so led here.
I thought I joined the house.
I see a red ticket, so I don't know. I thought you were a member as well. I don't know.
Okay, I'll do that after I'm finished.
Okay, go ahead.
I will definitely do that. But
Yes,
you have a very good topic. I was just here and I was talking to the Lord, but for some reason I was going to open my arms today.
and because he gave me a message, you know.
Yeah.
And
You should still do that. Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna still do it, but I just dropped in, and the topic is gonna be on God. I was just talking to him because you know the year coming and everything, and then he's saying all these good. I don't understand. God said all these good things about us, and still there's people open up their mouth. That's why he said, "No weapon formed against us shall prosper, and every tongue that rises up against us will be condemned." And what I learned as a woman walking with the Lord is that whenever they speak their words, and especially if you speak in love to them, it will not affect you. I've definitely have an experience with that. When you love God and when people speak in all kind of thing and they just don't, because people just don't, they just don't like people for nothing. You know what I mean? And they will say that, but I practice myself, from I know myself, and I'm not telling you, this is not fake. I think I'm born with it. I'm born with it where I speak life over people and don't even understand when I'll be saying good things to people and don't even know that even before I know the Lord. Even before I know the Lord, I'll be like saying some good things and have a sense of humor about it. But people just get serious. And this is what I have a problem with because I'm a 60 baby and I know this, oh, everybody gets serious.
Nigga, you bigger than me. Show me how to get. So figure Trace libero, subfigura la
Why were they there to arrest her? Because she was harassing some random chick, or like, you know, that's why. Like, obviously, presumably that's how you'd want your society to run. Similarly, if this woman was being like racially abused and targeted by her managers, you just would expect her to win if there was evidence.
There was this guy.
This is our Lord, the joy of the world. To be the whole of the Lord. Thou hast no right but to do thy will, do that, and no other shall say nay. Every man and every woman is a star. There is no God but man. One man has the right to live by his own law, to live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he will. To man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will, to move as he will on the face of the earth. Free man has the right to think what he will, to speak what he will, to write what he will, to draw, paint, carve, etch, mold, build as he will, to dress as he will. For man has the right to love as he will. Take your fill and will of love as he will. When, where, and with whom ye will. When, where, and with whom ye will. Five man has the right to kill those who would thwart these rights. Slaves shall serve. Love is the law. Love under will. All life is self. You are here on the library of Alistair Crowley, technical libers of the liberos, subfigura live. Trace libero, subfigura